इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ, मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good afternoon to all of you. With great hope that everybody is safe and healthy, we welcome each one of you to our digital representation of the business opportunity which we have got for you under Business Opportunity Over Chai. This is a webinar series which we started last year, and every day we are providing one business opportunity for all of you so that you digitally interact with the brand representative, understand their business option, franchise opportunity they have got for us, and take a right decision. We also request each one of you to share your feedback, suggestion in our question and answer box, which will be taken care by our panel member joining in today during our panel discussion. With this introduction, we welcome management team of Franchise India, Sonia ma'am, as well as we also welcome our CEO of Fran Global, Miss Venus. Today, she's representing her great brand, which we have got for all of you, Comic Book. And we invite her to talk about this opportunity. We also welcome Syed Hamza joining in from brand side. Anshul, welcome to this particular webinar. Over to you, Venus, to talk about this brand.
Thank you. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. And I really hope everyone is doing well. Thank you, Archana, for again doing this consistently for over a year and a half. I think you are the only one who has been able to pull this off. So great job. Now, my Hamza actually is just facing some problem. He's about to join, but Hamza, you there? Sorry, yeah. So today's brand, the Comic Book Store, is a very interesting, unique, a very new age brand started by this really young, smart, ambitious, young entrepreneur, Hamza from Mumbai, who is like a comic book enthusiast, and then sort of started this by himself on his own capital, and now has become the biggest comic book marketplace in the country. And what he really has built is he has kind of really, built his passion into a business and also filled a lot of gap in the market. And that's why even in the pandemic time, his business actually really grew multiple X's. And now we are very, very excited to sort of work with Hamza and get his just very interesting and very moving brand out there in the country and of course overseas as well, because the product the comic, that IP is universal, and so it's a very interesting business. And I actually personally not a very big on the superhero sort of side, but I just like what he has done, and very sort of looking much forward to hear from Hamza, and see. Of course, we were more than happy to take your question. The business opportunities available, especially at a unit level, so at an area level, and at a master franchise regional level also. So multiple options available, starting from a small capital to, let's say, a reasonable capital at a regional master level. And we have Hamza today to share that perspective with us. Hi, Hamza, you're there?
Yeah, hi Venus. Thank you for the lovely introduction. Hi everybody.
Hi. Now,
Sorry, you have to forgive me. There's a little commotion from the street below. Actually, my office is on the first floor, so
okay.
It will soon subside. It's a little situation going on here, so it will subside.
We can hear you clearly now. Can you present or you can't present?
I can present, but I would rather prefer when there is a little silence. I'll just give a small introduction about myself. Hopefully, in that time, this commotion should subside.
Sure. Hi, Sonia. How do you feel about that? Is that okay?
I think we can start with a brief introduction, Hamza, and then maybe a formal presentation. But we can hear you all right. I don't see any disturbance in the background, so I think we
Yeah.
can.
I think we can hear you okay, Hamza.
Actually, it's not about your audio or how you can listen. It's actually about how I can listen to you, and I cannot listen to you very clearly.
Okay. So how do you want to do this, Hamza? You tell me.
I'll just 2-3 minutes. It should be over. I'll just start with a small introduction. So first of all, hi, very good afternoon to everybody who's joined. Really thankful that you see and recognize this opportunity as well as we do. My name, like Veena said, it's Hamza Syed. I actually
You're getting off, Hamza. We can't hear you.
Started the comic book store about 2 years ago when
Hamza.
I was 20. Has been
Hamza,
Yeah,
Hamza, it's bad. So
Hello?
Hamza,
Hello?
It's bad. We can't hear you.
Yeah. One second. Let me switch to Wi-Fi. One second.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, is it better now?
Yes.
Thank you. That's great. Okay. So, as I was saying, my name is Hamza Syed. I am the founder of the comic book store. I started this company about 2 years ago, purely from a passion to a business. I saw the opportunity and it was a work in progress, and the idea that had been stuck with me for a very, very long time. See, comics were a passion for me growing up. It's always been a passion till today. It's passion. And I'm glad that I'm like one of the few people that make a living out of their passions. But for me, when I started this business until today, it's not about money. It's never been about money. For me, it's more of an emotional connect. It's more, it's very intrinsic for me. So I started this after quitting my job and just bootstrapped my way out of everything that was there. Initially, when I started, I had no place, no money. So I poured everything that I had about, at that time, it was about $1,000. So roughly about $70,000. I had a little bit of understanding of web design. So I created my own website, started from my living room hall with about like 4 boxes of comic that I had gotten from the US. And slowly, steadily, we did, the growth has been phenomenal in the last 1.5 years, purely because of the pandemic. And before that, in the first month when the comic book store was launched, I launched it right along the Avengers Endgame release. So the hype was real. The demand was amazing. In the first month, I did about 20,000 worth of business. And today I think that number is far, far off. That is, I think, what we do on a daily basis, more than that, obviously. But that is something that we do on a daily basis. I did not think that we would come this far in such a short amount of time. I started from my house, my living room, which was pretty much occupied with the boxes and the computer and the stuff lying on the floor. And in the pandemic, we got a chance to move to an office, hire staff, hire people, move to a bigger office now, better place, more stuff. So the business has been growing really well. It's been doing really well to a position that right now where we are discussing a store franchise unit, a master franchise, not just in India, but globally. So it's been surreal for me. And it's a market that in India has a huge demand with little to no supply. So the comic book store is, put in one sentence, is India's first comic book store and the world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture. Okay, so yeah.
Hamza, on that note, that's a very big statement. Are you going to put anything up on the screen?
Yeah, I can.
Can you do
I'll
that?
start. Yeah, I'll
Because
start.
people need to
One-
visualize it.
Yeah, I'll start with the presentation.
So say that again. You are the first comic book store and marketplace in India.
So it's India's first comic book store and the world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture.
What does that mean?
So, I mean, India's first comic book store is pretty much straightforward. It's understandable. The world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture means that it's not just a store, but it's a platform where buyers and sellers can meet and sell their stuff, put it up online with the guarantee and with the authenticity of the comic book store, acting as a platform, acting as a guarantor on these sales. There are two sorts of revenue models on that. One is basically just a direct sales model where we buy and sell. The other is the marketplace model where we take commissions on sales. So that those commissions are sorry, can you hear me? Is it clear? I kind of lost you. Yeah, so those commissions are on 10 to 15% basis depending upon the price of the product. It's not only limited to comics, but it also means that you can basically sell anything related to this industry. And it's the world's first because there isn't a platform which is exclusively dedicated for comic and pop culture, merchandise, paraphernalia, comic books, everything included. So usually before the marketplace, what happens is, usually what happened in my experience also is, if I have a particular comic book I want to sell, I will just go to Facebook and upload it on a few groups. But the problem with Facebook groups is, first of all, there is no cash on delivery. Second of all, the person who's selling is usually selling a fake or a copy, or basically is there just to make money out of you. So it's a fraud. In most cases, it happens. We are giving the ability for customers to order basis on cash on delivery, basis on cash returns if the product does not meet the standard which was quoted by the seller at the time of sale. We also ensure that the seller is not charging more money than the market price. So we have a lot of policies in place for that. It was in beta stage. We've just released it from beta to like an open platform where anybody can just register as a seller. Obviously, everything goes through a review first with our team, but then it is pretty much standard from there. I mean, it's like an Amazon or an eBay, but exclusively for comics and comic related products.
Okay. We still can't see your screen, Hamza.
Hold on 1 second.
If Naseem or Anshul can also put up a presentation, that can also work, and Hamza can speak.
Yeah, my laptop is a little slow, so.
Naseem?
Okay, let me put.
So I have a lot of stuff here that I can show you as well, not just in the presentation, guys, but also the stuff that we have in store that we've sold to customers, the rarity of it, the exclusivity of it, and the scarcity of it. So I will walk you through all of that stuff.
Sure, but nothing is coming up on the screen.
Yeah, it says here Zoom PowerPoint is updating, just a few seconds. Sorry.
You see, you're supposed to be the technology oriented, not me.
No, I am, but these updates are just bothering.
See many issues
So,
with you.
Venus, I have the PPT. You want me to put the, okay.
It's coming up. See? Okay, Hamza, so I think let's go through the presentation first so people kind of really get an idea.
Yeah, sure, sure.
The initial pitch is very interesting. But since it's a new category, not new category, but sort of new way of sort of, reaching this category, it'll be good if people kind of go through this presentation with you.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So, okay, let's begin. Okay, so like I said, it's India's first comic book store and the world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture. Just 1 second now. Hold on. Yeah, can you guys hear me? Yeah, so like I said, it's India's first comic book store and the world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture. It started out, like I was saying, it started out as a passion project, but the idea that it has stayed with me for a very long time. Growing up, I was sort of like an introvert, a nerd, and cartoons and comics were my only, escape, I would say, or my only friends at that point of time. So I kind of gravitated towards the idea at a very young age. But the problem that I have always faced, even in my childhood years as well as my teenage years, still growing up, that apart from what you see on the screen, whether it be on the cartoon or TV series going on right now, the movies, anything else, it's just a very limited picture that you see. Okay, so in order for you to understand your superheroes better, to know the stories of these people better, you need comics. But the problem in India was there were no comics available. There were no single issues. Graphic novels were available only at like a crossroad or something big. And to be very honest, a school kid on their pocket money cannot afford a graphic novel which is priced at 2000, 2500, even more. So that's always been a problem. And single issues in the US are huge. Single issues anywhere in the world are the most in demand, and that was the only thing that was missing in India, that there was a huge demand even at that point, but people were failing to realize it as a market. Till today, there is a huge demand for single issues for this comic genre, but we are the only players who have gotten single issues in India. That's why we call it India's first comic book store, because we don't only deal in comics, we deal in everything generally that you see at a comic book store. So single issues were not available in a nutshell. That kind of stayed with me, and that is the reason why I launched the comic book store. So every superhero has like an origin story, a problem that they have faced in their childhood, in their teenage years, and that is sort of my problem, and I'm sure that was a problem for a lot of people. Okay. Naseem, can you move on to the next slide? Thank you. So the solution, like I said, I planned on solving this problem for everyone else who were, going through what I went through in my childhood, in my teenager years. I decided to get this dream, make this dream a reality, get this kind of fill this kind of a huge supply gap in the market. India has one of the largest, the second largest economically market, and the one of the largest markets for comic and pop culture genre. Okay, so right after US, Canada, and the UK, apart from anime culture, India is among the top 5 markets that has this kind of a demand for this particular genre. So that's why I started the comic book store, for it to become like a one-stop shop for everything that you desire in the comic and pop culture field. So we've basically gotten all the biggest publishers in the world, starting with Marvel and DC. Their single issue comics we've sold for 99 rupees. So the basic base original Marvel and DC comics start at 99 bucks. Can you move on, Naseem? Yeah. So like I said, there was a huge demand with almost zero supply. And still today, there is a huge demand. And the only supply that there is in the market is the comic book store. So we've sort of created like a monopoly and a market presence that is so hugely recognized in India that the comic book store has sort of right now become a de facto place for comic nerds and pop culture nerds to seek their solace in. So if they have any requirement for a comic book or a related collectible or a particular item, they straight away think of the comic book store. So whenever you want comics right now, it's become sort of a synonym. So if you want comics, you go to the comic book store. And this has happened in a phase of, I think, 23 to 24 months, so approximately about 2 years. Like I said, it started in a very long time ago. So I had the idea of actually realizing that dream in about 2017, when I said, you know what, I've always wanted comics. I know a couple of friends who've always wanted comics. We've grown up on the same culture. We've grown up with the same mentality. So why not give people what they deserve? Why not start a comic book store? In 2018, I tried to start. Obviously, I was employed at that point of time. And in my case, I was the only bread earner, still am. I was the only bread earner for my mom and my brother. So it was tough leaving a well-paid job and putting everything that you have earned so far on a business that may or may not succeed. So in 2018, I quit my job and I wanted to start the comic book store, but I failed at that point of time because I didn't have a lot of money. I didn't even have like 15,000 at that point of time to put it into my dream and bootstrap it. So that was my first failed attempt. In 2019, I quit everything and backed myself into a corner and put, like I said, I had $1,000 at that point of time and put everything into it. And I said, you know what, there is no turning back right now, because I've quit my job. I've burned my resume. I cannot go back right now. And for my I mean touch wood, it kind of just worked. It succeeded. So today, fast forward to about 2 years later, the comic book store has served over 1.2 million customers in India, in the Gulf, and in some other parts of the world, with 12 plus brand partnerships and 100K products across multiple categories. These are some of our brand partners with which we have partnerships with. Marvel, DC being the two biggest players in this industry. Marvel is obviously owned by DC. Then other lesser known publishers in this market space to Indian consumers are Image Boom, IDW, Viz Media, Funko and Hasbro deal in collectibles and pop figures. And CGC is basically like a grading authority who we also have a license with. Okay, so competitive advantages is, like I said, a simple original Marvel Avengers comic, for example, starts at 99 rupees. So that's our competitive advantage in the sense that we give this premium products at non-premium prices, not just an original comic starting at 99. That's like the base price. But we also offer the most rare and the most best comics in the world, a comic that is signed by Stan Lee with certificate of authentication. I've recently sold it for 30,000, wherein if you go to an eBay or if you go to any other market, even in the US, you will find that these products go nowhere below $1,000. So we sell these kind of premium products at non-premium prices. I mean, the retail comics that you see on the site are just the tip of the iceberg. We deal in exclusive products, limited products that are that are so scarce that it's just insane. So we deal in products like these also. So like I said, a comic book store basically encompasses everything that a comic book store should. So premium products at non-premium prices, industry leader, the market, we've kind of sort of dominated it, created a monopolistic presence, and are currently the industry leaders when it comes to comic. You can take any other pop culture related store as a comparison, and you'll see the products that the range of products that we offer versus the range of products that they offer. Those are poles apart. And even if you consider the pricing, if you find one or two books in the market and you consider their pricing, you'll see that the comic book store is at least 50% below the market price. Apart from that, we have the largest variety of titles because we've got all the brand partnerships you can imagine. Apart from that, not just brand partnerships, but we also got partnerships with some of the biggest collectors in the world. So the market, on the marketplace, people sell these products. The global, in terms of global recognitions, we've been recognized as an industry player by the Comic Rating Authority, which is based in the US. The SARC, which is the South Asia regional awards, has recognized the comic book store as a top startup, myself as a top entrepreneur. And I've also won the Facebook grant in the month of December 2020. I've spoken at IIM Ahmedabad at their entrepreneurship fair, which is again a great honor that was bestowed upon me. Being a young entrepreneur who's sort of created something that the country has not seen. And I've also, I mean, the startup has also been nominated for a lot of other projects by Times of India and Entrepreneur, etc., etc. But I've also won India 500 Startup Award for quality and excellence. Yeah, Facebook grant recipient 2020. This was a cash prize as well as an influx of Facebook resources by Facebook itself. As you can see right now, also, if you go to Google and check out the reviews, you'll see that, we have a 4.9 star rating on Google, which just goes to explain. And if you actually go on and read the reviews, you'll understand what I'm saying word by word, because the customers have explained it, that, it's a great thing we have a comic book store in India. Earlier, we weren't able to get these products, but now we can easily get these products. The range, the prices, everything is explained. Nasim, you can move. Yeah. I've been asked this question a couple of times when I've spoken at fairs, when I've spoken with investors, is that why now? I say there is no other better time for us to have started when we did, So there was this huge demand at that time for Avengers Endgame. There was this huge hype. And after Avengers Endgame, the Marvel universe kind of just dried up, which led people to resort to comics, to relive their fantasies, to relive their world. And till date, there is this very popular Marvel series going on Disney Plus, which is called What If. So What If has been explained long ago in the comic universe. So right now I have a lot of demand for What If comics. Venom is coming out. I have a lot of demand for Venom comics. Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out. So I have a lot going on in that universe. So, it's a multiverse kind of a movie that is coming out. First multiverse movie for Marvel Universe. So people are going crazy over Doctor Strange, over Spider-Man, over Venom. So a lot of these things, everything that happens in the outside world affects the demand of the comics that we own and sell. So that's another great deal about this thing. After the Avengers phase got over, people thought that was the end of the Marvel universe, but no. People started buying more comics. People started investing in comics. When Stan Lee died, when Chadwick Boseman died, the value for the comics that featured them or that was signed by them skyrocketed. And I know this because I've personally, before their deaths, I've personally sold these comics, which after they died, my customers reached out to me saying, you were selling this for 15,000. I'm ready to give you 30,000 for that same comic. And I said, no, boss, it's kind of sold. I cannot, you know, turn the wheel around. So there is a lot of demand. There's a lot of going on, and Marvel being like $1 billion company will not just stop making movies or stop making series. There will always be demand for this. It's a necessity for people who follow this culture. It's after food, shelter, clothing, where people put comics at. I've had a lot of customers that have told me, please, you know, keep this comic aside for me. Next month, I'm going to convince my landlord to just take half of my rent, and I'm going to give you half of my rent for this particular comic. And that's just insane. The kind of dedication that they have is just insane. So apart from all of this, you know, we offer quality books. These are original, authentic, brand new, mint condition books and products as well. Other than that, we give varied offerings and services, countrywide network, pan-India deliveries, even to the most remote locations. Amazing customer service, as you can see from the Google reviews. And as always, premium products at non-premium prices. The audience is varied. Most people have this kind of you know, like a stereotype that comics hai to sirf ladke log hi padhte honge. No, it's not that. 40% of my audience is female oriented. They buy it for themselves. They buy it for their spouses, partners, sons, daughters as gifts. But in most cases, I've seen they are themselves very avid readers and collectors. And the age range is basically, we cater to kids starting from the age of 6 up to you know, people at 60-65 as well. And it's basically, like I've explained earlier as well, it's a lifestyle, it's a culture. It's like a cult following. You cannot just give up on this. And this is one of the business with the highest number of retaining customers, because a comic is released every month. A series, you know, like a particular superhero series may, number 1 is released in this month, number 2 will come another month, number 3, number 4, number 5, it goes on. So if a person has bought number 1, obviously he'll want number 2. It's like watching episodes of a TV series. You cannot just stop after episode 1. You need to know what happens in episode 2. And then it's sort of like, it ends on a cliffhanger. Then you want another one, then you want another one. So it's a business with the highest number of retaining customers. Just to give you an understanding of the numbers we've achieved in the pandemic itself, in the first 2 months of the pandemic, 2-3 months of the pandemic, there were more than 20,000 hits on the website. These were all organic. We had completely like stopped marketing. These were completely organic, 20,000 hits, and we've acquired more than 85% of the current customers in the pandemic scenario. The lifetime value to customer acquisition cost is 5 times what we spend. So the lifetime value is 5x as well compared to the customer acquisition cost, which is 1x. So if we spend 1 rupee, we get a customer that spends 5 rupees. The month-on-month growth in the first few months of pandemic was 2,160%, and the year-on-year growth, the current you know, annual growth rate was more than 600%. And the revenue increase per month in the last 6 months, in the first 6 months of the pandemic, were 400%. And like I said, it's a business with the most number of repeat customers. So 60 to 70% of recurring revenue comes from the customers that have been with us for a very long time and will continue to stay with us for the entirety of the business. The sales percentage, if we were doing 1 rupee in 2020, in 2021 we are doing 5 rupees. So we've 5,000 rupees. So we've grown over 5,000%. The project investment is actually, this is for the, Yeah, so the project investment, we'll go through the financials once this presentation is done. The innovations that we've done in this field, firstly, is the world's first marketplace for comic and pop culture. There is no joining fee attached. The commissions are not difficult to explain. It's a straight flat fee of 10% on products, 12% on products priced below 1,000 rupees, and 15% on products priced above 1,000 rupees. If you go to an Amazon or something like that, or a different marketplace, you will be charged a straight fee of approximately, I think, 40% after taxes. So you end up getting maybe 50 to 55% of what you actually intend to sell it for. Apart from that, we are working on a couple of interesting technologies using artificial intelligence. Like I said, the marketplace is modeled after a need of the customers, after the need of the customers. So we feel that the customers come first, they are a priority, and they should not be cheated in any case. For that, we've developed a sort of a market engine using artificial intelligence, which kind of recognizes the product from the description and the pictures that you've given, as well as gives you the market price of that particular product by scouring the internet. So we are doing interesting things in artificial intelligence. We've created an evaluation tool, a product recognition tool. There is a subscription service coming up for the store, because what is a comic book store without a subscription service? So that subscription service will be treated like an Amazon Prime membership, wherein you get free deliveries. There is no minimum order value, no minimum cash on delivery charges. At the store level, you get early discounts, early bird offerings, first access to signings, a lot of interesting things in that subscription service. I don't want to give everything away, but there are a lot of interesting things in the subscription service. There is another social feature that we've created, which is basically like a request forum. You go to the request forum. If you want a particular comic, you request for a comic, or if you want a particular product, you request for a product. If your request gets the maximum number of likes, we will get that particular product in stock the following month. That helps us avoid dead stock, as well as consider the demand for a particular product. And apart from that, this is very interesting. We are one of the first retailers in Southeast Asia that have been authorized to sell a fully functional Iron Man Mark 47 body armor suit. So the suit, like you see in the movies, it's exactly like that. It's got the arc reactor glowing. It's got the lasers and the missiles coming out of the forearm. And it takes about 3 months to make. It's a fully customized suit. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it's a like I was saying, it's a fully customized suit, will be made to your body measures. The base model starts at approximately 5.5 lakh rupees, and the top model goes up to 12 lakh rupees, 11.5, 12 lakh rupees. So that is something that is also very, very interesting, and is for the absolute cream of the crop crowd. Next. Okay, so we are also planning to accept crypto as a payment, depending on the financial regulations in India. But we've sold physical NFTs in the past. We collect physical NFTs, and we've always been sort of very welcoming to new technology. Crypto and NFTs have gained boom very recently, but we've been dealing in this since our inception. So we've been dealing in products that have phenomenally increased in value. And in that essence, we plan to accept crypto as a payment for these particular products. So we have a wallet that we plan to launch, which should be called TCBS Pay, which will be a wallet where you can store pay using crypto on the website. And NFT marketplace, like I was saying, we've been dealing with a lot of NFTs, physical NFTs in the past. Till date, we still have a lot of physical NFTs that the value of which grows by the minute. And in that case, we would like to give creators a chance to sell their artworks, their digital creations on our platform. They are physical creations as well on the store level. So that is another interesting concept that we have in mind, and we plan to launch pretty soon. So through this marketplace, in the first 3 months, one particular seller did about 5 lakhs of sale. So this was in the first 3 months of the pandemic, when this guy was pretty much out of a job, um, down on his ends, and he was struggling to make ends meet. And that is when the platform provided him a passive income stream. And in the first month, I think he did about only 50,000 worth of sales. But in the following 2 months, his overall 3-month quarter ka sale went up to 5 lakh rupees. So he made 5 lakh rupees just by selling his collection. And that is not even 10% of his collection. So yeah, that's one of the ways a marketplace has changed his life. That's it, guys. Venus, should I run down the financials, or Anshul can do that?
Anshul?
Yes, I'm here only. Hi, good afternoon.
Can you put the financial thing on the screen and go over?
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Hamza.
Yeah, man, pleasure.
Okay, so friends, here we are. Thank you, Hamza, for a great presentation. Here is the numbers part of it, probably which people all should be waiting for it to come. So we have this store, which is 400 square feet. Typically can be done in a mall or a high street, but ideally would want to be on a good location, which is surrounded by dense population, high income group. So, you have a ready customer there, right? In terms of the investment, we're looking at investment of 25 lakhs and upwards. Breakup is infrastructure 6 lakh rupees. So this is assumed to be a bare shell and converted into the showroom at a 1500 rupee per square feet cost. If you have a ready shop, this can be controlled to an extent. Equipment of 3 lakh rupees. This includes laptop, barcode scanners, printers, stacks and shelves, furniture, security tags. All the details are there. A unit franchise fee of 10 lakhs. Then initial stock, again assumed at 2000 rupee per square feet, so converts to about 8 lakh rupees. And then 3 lakh rupees pre-opening. This also includes a launch marketing budget of 1.5 lakhs and 1 lakh rupee towards training. Right. So again, this launch marketing budget, we can work it out, we can plan, and some costs can be controlled given your location advantage. Right. So overall, looking at 25 lakh rupees onwards investment in this project. Coming to the revenue and ROI understanding. So what we've seen is, the average bill value of 1100, which is, I can show here. Okay, so we have categorized, 3 set of customers. One at 600 rupee average value, which we call as a low paying customer, which forms about 60% of our customer base today. Then second category, mid segment, which is 1500, and typically what we've seen is between 20 to 30% customers would fall in this category also. While the high end customers, 2500 rupee average bill value, which invest with us in that mask that Hamza spoke about, and many other premium products. So this we've seen 10 to 15% customers coming in this category also. So overall, given this split, we're able to arrive at an average bill value of 1100. Currently, what we've seen is 50 bills a day is what we are experiencing from our stores. In fact, there we're doing much better, but we're starting at 50 bills a day, which means a daily sales of 50,000 to 60,000 rupees, which also gives you an annual sales of close to 2 crores. These are the numbers that we have already achieved in our stores. It's not projected numbers, basis the current performance in the running store that company has. Right. Then some of the expenses side. cost of material 65%, which means a 100 rupee book is billed to you at 65 rupees. Then employee cost, this also we have taken. Very nominal staff requirements, one manager and 2 sales executives. We've also put a little bit of your time to be put at the store, so that is not really linked to the sales, but actually, building a customer rapport, customer relationship. So this helps in creating a repeat purchase, right? So that's where your role as a PR manager would be very important, to spend some time at the store, meet with the customers, interact with them, understand their requirements, and then make a sale. Of course, sales manager is there, sales executive is there, but we need to also play the PR manager role at the store, right? 1% incentive. We have also taken rent on a pretty high side, 2.5 lakh rupee for a 400 square feet, assuming that we are targeting some top locations in the city. Given again, so this rent could be lower in some of the locations. As I said, this have taken on a high side for a 400 square feet, right? Local marketing 2%, central marketing fee 1%. So this goes to 1% goes to the company. 2% is what you would be spending yourself, of course, guided by the company, and together we can work out how this 2% needs to be spent, right? Some of the other expenses like electric bill, communication, software renewals, delivery charges, and some of the other expenses. So overall, on a revenue of 2 crores, we're looking at 1.8, 1.9 crore expense. So ideally, you can do a 10 lakh rupee year one profit, which of course grows to 15, 18, 21 in year 2, 3, 4, right? So this also means that the investment of 30 lakh rupees is recoverable in about 2 years period. As I said earlier on the investment sheet also, 30 lakhs is the upper side of the investment. We should look at somewhere between 25 to 30 lakh rupees. And in thus, this investment can be recovered within 2 years period. So, just going over again, 1100 average ticket value split between 3 set of customers. 50 bills a day is very achievable. We're doing that in Mumbai store. That gives you a 2 crore turnover, 65% cost of the material, 2.5 lakh rupee rental value, some of the other expenses. So, between 10 to 15 lakh rupee month annual is what we should target in terms of the net earnings from this business, which also means under 2 years ROI, under 2 years break even for you. So this is what we have on the financial side. Hamza, you would like to add anything here? Any key points
Yeah,
that I'd
I'd just like to point out that the generally the profit margin on these products is a minimum of 50%, going upwards to 100. On some products, we've seen in the past that we've also gotten a little more than 100% profit margin. So the profit margin is also huge in a business like this. For instance, even on a 100 rupee comic, there is at least 50 rupees profit to be made. So that's a lot of space for your earnings to be made in this case. And as well as on top of that, you've got the marketplace commissions also coming up. So that's more of a master deal. But on a unit level, you've got great profit margins. You've got about 60 to 70% of retaining customers, and that is all a marking of a great opportunity and a great business. Okay, I think we can take questions if there are any questions for me regarding the brand, regarding the business, the opportunity, the location, space, anything at all. I'm up for any questions that you guys may have.
Thank you so much, Hamza. Venus, would you want to lead with the initial set of questions? At the same time, friends, I would request all of you, you can see the Q&A box down. If you have any specific questions with respect to the business model of the city that you're looking for, you can use the Q&A box to write, and we'll take it up with Hamza right away. So Venus, would you? Yeah.
Well, I think we were able to kind of go a bit back and forth on questions initially, but I think no, not more of a question, but a statement. And Sonia, if that question actually goes to you also, because you deal in so many different formats. When we have this kind of an opportunity, which is, I mean, it's not new. The product, of course, we have been reading comics since we were children, but setting up in this kind of a compact format, who do you think is the right profile for this? Especially, I'm assuming this would be for the main cities, right? So who should be looking at this this opportunity at a unit level? I think let's even forget master.
Sure. I think I would rather suggest if Hamza can do that. And I did hear Hamza talking about India being the second largest fan base after America. And this also suggests that there's a massive gap between the demand and the supply in the comic, and also a lot of merchandise. And I saw one of the exclusive merchandise which we saw on the screens. And to meet all these unaddressed needs, the company was founded. And if you look at how, historically and going back to 50s, this industry has come a very long way. When comics started appearing in newspapers, to the 80s, where this industry saw a tipping point, and now to the era, which is technology led, where we have now access to web comics and strong content, creation by top companies is something which I feel is going to fuel the market, and where the company, comic book store, is giving a very good value proposition, because they're dealing with and they're focusing on international titles, and they're offering to their end consumer something which is original and which they don't get otherwise. So Hamza, would you want to answer, because you have seen your audience, who is also your target audience? I would like to ask both, one, the ideal profile of investor, because you talked about your own passion and interest in the industry, and second is also your target audience, the age group that you typically cater to.
So Hamza, you're on mute. We finally can see you, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. So to answer your second question first, I would say, there is this idea attached to it. When I used to tell people that I sell comics, people used to say, koi padhta bhi hai kya? So there's this sort of a stigma attached to it कि यार India में comics कोई नहीं पढ़ता. That is a huge misunderstanding. And the other stigma attached to it is that comics सिर्फ बच्चों के लिए होती है. So no, absolutely not. I would say 90% of my customer base are people aged 18 to 35, 40. I would say that is my ideal age group. So kids don't read. Most of the comics are not for kids also. So most of the comics have like a teen and an adult rating because of the graphic, intense, fight scenes and the brutality, or a tragic or horrific ending. So there are majority of comics that are not intended for a very young base. These are intended for young adults. 18 to 40 is my ideal age group. We sell to kids when we go to schools. So when we do like a pop-up shop or like a shop in shop in schools or exhibitions, that's when we take the comics that are rated 6+. So that also we make it very clear with the school. Okay, I have only these much in stock, and this is only for kids aged from 16 to 6 to 13. And that's what the kind of mentality, and that's the kind of equation that we have with most of our customer base. Apart from that, the ideal investor profile would be someone who reads the comics themselves, who is in this industry, who knows about this industry, who knows about this world. Like I said, I cannot I cannot give you a crash course in this field, in this industry. You need to know the importance, the rarity, the availability of this particular book. When I tell you, yeah, I've got a limited edition like an Alex Ross virgin cover or something like that, you should be able to know who Alex Ross is in the first place. So right now, Stanley is pretty unanimous with the customer base. Everybody knows he's like the godfather of comics. He's made a lot of appearances in the movies, and you know, a lot of things are famous about him. So that is something that everybody is aware of. But an ideal investor profile would be someone who's grown up like on a Tinkle or even Chacha Chaudhary or any, but just knows the importance and the value of comics. Raj comics are fine, Phantom comics are fine, you know, Tinkle, Chacha Chaudhary, anything will do. But you need to be able to understand, when I hold a comic, how well it is, what is the value, what is the emotional attachment to it. You should be able to know all of those things. On that note, like I was saying, I have some products that I want to show you. The participants at this point, and I'll just like to explain you know, how important these products are, what are the value, what are the margins that we can expect from it, why this business is what it is, and why you should become a part of this business. So if anybody in the crowd recognizes the products that I am about to show you, I think that will be an ideal investor profile.
Wow. Okay.
So we'll start with a very basic like I was saying, Alex Ross. Alex Ross is a great, you know, creator, and he does great artworks for Marvel and DC both. This cover that I'm about to show you. So hold on one second. How do I?
We can see it,
Yeah, so you can.
but it's not very clear, you know, because you're one of the screens.
Yeah, it's a little.
So maybe if you, I don't know, you can't switch on your screen also.
No, wait 1 second.
We can spotlight you. If we can spotlight, I think that would help.
Okay. 1 second.
I think if you share your screen, it come on the full screen, no?
1 second. I don't. And the whole screen automatically.
So Hamza, we are running out of time.
Okay, so I'll just I don't know. Yeah, can you see this?
It's not clear. So what we can do, Hamza, is we can actually organize one-on-one session with people who would kind of, you know, really want to, which
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, sorry. So yeah, this is an Alex Ross artwork. This is a Silver Surfer Marvel comic. This is called as a virgin cover because you see there is nothing written on it. Completely just about the artwork. It's a Silver Surfer cover drawn by Alex Ross. It's called a virgin cover because there is nothing written on it. It's quite high in value because A, it is drawn by Alex Ross, and B, it's a virgin cover for Silver Surfer, who's scheduled to make an appearance in another Fantastic Four movie, which is coming soon. Moving on to DC, this is Superman Year One. It is signed right here. If you can see, it's signed by John Romita Jr. and it comes with a certificate of authentication by Midtown Comics. So this is an unusual size book. This sold for 10,000. This one book sold for 10,000. And I think we got it at $4,000 or $5,000. This is Batman Golden Age comic, released in 1959. It is the first appearance of Killer Croc, who's again supposed to, we'll see his debut in the upcoming Batman movie. So this book is in a near mint condition. It's got a little rough edges, but this book I think sold very recently for 15,000 rupees. I sold it to a collector. So it is the original 1959 Batman Killer Croc, first appearance of Killer Croc, and this is the first print. This is Venom, coming to theaters very, very soon. This sold for 9,000 bucks. I think I got it at 2.5, 3. And this is what is something called as a red foil cover. So red foil cover for Venom, this is number 1 of 6. Again, the movie is coming out, so this has got a huge demand for it. Now this is a slab. You see the comic is preserved in a plastic slab. This is done by CGC, which is the world's grading authority, the only grading authority for comics. It's got a 9.8 rating, which is the highest rating that you can get on the condition of the comic book. This is actually Marvel's 25th anniversary edition drawn by Alex Ross for Immortal Hulk. You'll see Hulk on the cover. So this is on Marvel's 25th anniversary. It was drawn by Alex Ross, and it is CGC 9.8 graded slab. If it was signed, this particular part would be yellow, which will be the signature series for CGC, which means that the grading authority has verified that this is the authentic copy of the book, authentic signature, and is preserved for eternity. So the slab sells for, I think right now the value of this particular book is 25,000 approximately. So yeah, so these are some of the products that we have. Other than that, these books like these are graphic novels. These are just your regular run-of-the-mill products. This is a graphic novel. This is a single issue. Okay, this is a variant. This is called a variant cover. So it's a Superman number 18. Then you got your general books, single issues. So this is Power Effects. So that's about my products. Some of my products.
So I think, while we don't have too much of time, and a couple of things which I think are important to be understood. And one question which I wanted to pick up is on the inventory. And we've talked about an inventory of say 8 odd lakhs. So, and two questions I would say, how does the selection of the inventory happen is one of my question. And the second is what happens to any inventory which remains unsold at the outlet? How is that treated?
So generally, we don't have dead stock. The thing with comics is, most importantly, the thing with single issues is, as soon as the single issues hit shelves, I would say even before they hit the shelves, our shelves right now, we pretty much sell out 50% of the stocks before they hit the shelves, and the remaining 50% are sold out within a month. Single issues are so huge in demand that not just in India, but everywhere abroad, even in our case, if we are late with our orders to our distributors, we don't get those issues. So single issues are hugely in demand. Once a single issue, the release date has passed and it has been sold, then they go on to second printing, third printing, so on and so forth. But once a single issue is sold, it's called a back issue. So back issues becomes more scarce because back issues are not directly available through the publishers. They are available through collectors or different stores or something like that, our store being one of them. So it's a business where you won't have stock stuck with you for a very long time. If in case that happens, in a very rare case that happens, or probably we were unable to predict the lot size, if that happens, then we do something like this. It's called a mystery box. Okay, so this box, we sell it as a box, we package it as a box, and we give customers 10 books inside the box. One of those books is like a lottery prize, so you can win the lottery and you pay 5,000 or even lesser for the box, and you get 10 books in that box. The value of those 10 books is easily more than 5,000. But if you win the lottery, you get one book, something like this, which alone is for 10,000 rupees. So we give one grand prize, and we package it as like a box and like a very good deal.
Sure. And my other question would also be, because you run a marketplace and you have a lot of, I would say, your audience or your subscribers coming on the website, and in presence of a franchise partner,
yeah,
is that fulfillment of those orders in the, I would say, city or the geography would be done by the partner, or that is something that you would keep?
No. The partner's stock inventory will also be taken as an online inventory. Part of it will be taken as an online inventory. If an order comes for that online inventory, this particular partner will ship it. So that store also becomes like a fulfillment center, and we also give them the ability to sell their stuff online, not just retail with walk-ins, but also online.
Sure. And I'm sure you would agree, this kind of a business would need a lot of regular marketing, and I would say, not just build the market, but important would be to reach out to your subscriber, to your audience. And what is your guidance to your partners? What kind of responsibility are they expected to hold, in terms of marketing? Is there any support that you would also give at the time of launch, new launches, not only for the store, but the new editions that are being launched? So what kind of support in terms of marketing do you give to help them reach out to their audience and, help them, I would say, go to market, especially in the initial 3 to 4 months time?
So a very interesting thing was once said to me by an investor is that if you have a comic store, even in inside a cave or even at the top of a mountain, people will still camp outside your store. People will still line outside your store. So that has stayed on that has stayed with me for a very long time, to this day, where I hardly spend on marketing, and the retention rate that we have, the organic growth that we have kind of just sustains a business. And it's been happening, it's going on. In terms of marketing spends, we've seen that if you spend on average, if you spend 1 rupee, you get at least 3 rupees back. That is like the average expectation that we have from our marketing spends. On times of occasions like Diwali, Christmas, New Year, etc., we see a regular return of at least 5 times of our marketing spends. Apart from that, the when I used to, like I said, I used to do it from my living room, right? So I had my house address put up on Google earlier when I was starting, for the pickup executives to find the place easily. I had customers calling up, from my compound, saying that I am at your given address, but I'm unable to locate your store. And I used to tell them, boss, sorry, this is my house address, and it's an online store. You go to the website and you buy. And I had at least 10 people per week calling me from my locality, from my area, that we've reached to your address, but we are unable to locate your store. So the store is like like a hangout place. It's a place to make connections. It's a place to get to know each other. It's a place to relive your dreams, your fantasies, everything. It's not just a physical retail location. It's a lot more than that.
True. And lastly, from my end, Hamza, because you have been in this business for long, and your own passion, you understand the industry, the market. Where do you see the current demand, especially in terms of cities coming from, and what cities would be the most, I would say, priority or important for you to get in? And are we looking at, say, what kind of radius are we also giving to a partner? Are we looking at, say, 2 franchise per city, 3 partners per city? If that is something that you can also extend understanding on.
So ideally, we are looking for, I think metro cities make more sense. Preferably in South, I would say Bangalore, Hyderabad would be the ideal location, because I know the number of orders that go to the South, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. These are great cities, and these have huge demands for this particular business that we are under. So metro cities would be ideal. Partners in metro cities would be ideal. But we've also seen demand from tier 2 cities, like, you have like a Bhopal or a city in Madhya Pradesh, like Raigad or Chhattisgarh, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, some cities like that, which are tier 2 cities. So we've seen demand in that places as well. Ideally, the first few stores, I believe, should be in metro cities. We can give state-wise territories to a franchise partner who is willing to open more than 1 store. So we can give them state-wise territories, Maharashtra, Gujarat, Goa, Tamil Nadu, and Bangalore, Karnataka as well. So we can give them state-wise territories in order for them to open at least 2-3 stores in multiple cities, or at least, like, if you want to do like 2 stores in 1 city, those 2 stores should be like poles apart.
Sure, I think that's helpful. Venus, would you want to take up any questions from your end?
Well, I think this was a good session, very informative. Thank you, Sonia. You always ask us intelligent questions. I think because you take care of these sessions every day and speak to the investor who's at the local level. And so, and Hamza, great job with putting together the brand. It is a young brand. I think I want to tell everyone this is a young brand. This is a young business. Hamza is a young entrepreneur. He has got into a category which is it's just very interesting. Frankly speaking, I don't understand the category fully because I'm just not in that much into comics. But I know how much today's kids and young adults, if I can say that, including professionals, are into comics and these superstars and so what you call these superheroes and so on and so forth. So that is only going to increase. I think what technology is doing with NFTs, it's just kind of really taking other paths. So a lot of opportunities. And as Hamza mentioned, I think for this business, it's you having some interface and some passion for this category is very important, because otherwise you would just not able to be connect with it, because this whole business is about passion, and people actually see themselves in these characters. That's why they invest 25,000 rupees, I would rather buy a jewelry. So I think that's very important part of the business. And I am 100%, I can make this prediction now that Hamza is going to be one of the brightest and biggest entrepreneurs in India. I think what he has started on his own in last 3 years is so impressive. And I know he's doing some bigger things in the background, and I won't sort of divulge them now, but it is a unique category. I think one important aspect of this business would be that you can actually get good locations, because there is no brand like this in the malls. There is no brand like this in the top locations. So I think there would be some sort of premium locations which would be open to have a location like this, and we don't need much space. We only need like 400 square feet, right? So all those factors really combine them well. We are very excited to be here today with Franchise India, and of course with Hamza. And as a next step, if you think this is interesting, reach out to us, and we'll have a chat and see if this would make sense.
Yeah, absolutely, Venus. Thank you. It was a great session. I enjoyed talking. Anytime I can get to talk about my business, I really enjoy talking about it. There was one question which I saw on the chat board, which was, are there any stores in India? If so, in which cities? No, currently there are no stores in India, but we are catering to the entire country all at once. We deliver pan India. We're planning to open multiple stores through franchise deals, of course. And, for people who are in this industry, it's the necessity for investing in like a 25,000 rupee comic is right up there with roti, kapda and makan. So people will come, whether it makes sense to you or it doesn't make sense to you. People will still come and they will still buy. I've had people that spend like 50% of their salary on just these things. So again, great opportunity, great plan, great market to be in right now. Everything is pretty amazing, and we'd be delighted to honestly have partners in this space. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, if there's any question, you can shoot right across it to me. You can always reach out to Franchise India. Yeah, look forward to it.
Thank you. So one thing which I want to add, Hamza and Sonia, is that just like art, comics now are also becoming valuable. So the more time they spend, so like the comic which is released today, in 10 years time, its value would actually increase. So, so people are investing this as an art sort of product also. So that is also part of the business. So, the reason that is growing so fast.
Yeah, so Comic-Con fests happen all over the world. Biggest Comic-Con fest happen in US, followed by Singapore. The third biggest market for Comic-Con is India. Okay, and unlike the name suggests, we've been part of Comic-Con for only 1 year. Last year it was cancelled. Like the name suggests, Comic-Con in India, there are no comics to be found at Comic-Con. So when we put up a shop at Comic Con, we saw press attention, we saw media attention, we saw the organizers' attention. We saw the second highest number of footfall at Comic Con. So this was for a 2x2 space that we had, and I think we did about 5 lakhs of business in 2 days. So Comic Con, if you take a franchise in a metro city, Comic Con happens in metro cities. If you take a franchise in in a metro city, you get a chance to put up your stall of the comic book store in your particular Comic Con exhibition, wherein you get a chance to, brand awareness is right there, sales are right there, you get at least 10 times of what you're paying for a stall there. So the opportunity at Comic Con and related exhibitions and fairs is huge. I cannot even explain. You can, hand out pamphlets, coupon codes, vouchers, anything you can do, run out deals, everything and anything. We've done so many things at Comic Cons. You can have like silent auctions. We did silent auctions as well for a CGC slab. So amazing opportunities, amazing demand. Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Mumbai, 5 cities. Comic Con happens in. We were part of Comic Con Mumbai, but the response that we've seen and there were no comics to be sold. We were the only people at Comic Con selling comics.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Good
it's
point.
very, very interesting. Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay. So Sonia, anything?
Great. I think this was very, very helpful, very informative at the same time. And I would say this is not one-off opportunities because, typically the opportunities that we present every day are, one other brand in that category. This is something which is very unique. And we're looking at people who are like-minded, and this business can only be run while it has a business case. But people who understand the industry is something which I feel would be a value addition, so to say. And friends, I will request all of you to reach out to us. We have a hotline number. I will also request team of Venus to put any email and number which they want to, so that they can connect one-to-one for a discussion, and we can fix up maybe a call or a meeting one-to-one with Hamza for any further questions our prospective partners would have on the business model overall. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
guys.
Archana, your turn.
Sure. So thank you so much, Hamza, for joining in today and giving us this opportunity to talk about your brand, showcase your brand to all our investors. We would like to thank Sonia ma'am, Venus, Anshul for joining in today. All the dear friends, thank you so much for registration, attending the webinar, putting your queries to us. Please do reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. You can share your valuable suggestion, feedback about any of the business opportunity, about our processes at the same business hotline number. Also connect with us at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. You want more guidance, more expert as wide viewpoint on our industry as well as business opportunity, it's very easy to get it. Just join Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am at their LinkedIn platform. We have just shared the links about them. So please join them to get more information. And tomorrow, under our business opportunity over chai 12 p.m. webinar, we are inviting you to join us again for a great webinar. We are inviting the team of Anytime Car Sharing. That's the brand we are bringing for you. So do registration, connect with us either at our business hotline number, or you can go to Facebook page where we have shared the registration link. We request all of you to do registration right now to join us tomorrow 12 p.m. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a very safe day ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yes, you are.